Jaya Radha Madhova Kunda Bihari Jaya Radha Madhova Kunda Bihari Gopi Janabalabha Iri Badadade Gopi Janabalabha Iri Badadade Yasodhanandana Vraja Janarandana Yasodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Jamuna Tera Manachari Yamuna Tera Manachari Jaya Radhu Madhuva Kunamira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunamihati Gopijana Balapa Yiri Badadade Gopijana Balapa Yiri Badadade Yasodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yasodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Jamuna Tera Manachari Yamuna Tera Manachari Jaya Radhu Madhuva Kunjabihagure Jaya Radhu Madhuva Kunjabihagure Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravaticacharya also Teta Satashi Shimad His Divine Grace Abhaya Charananda Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadada Sivasiti Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shaimakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai, Vrindavanam ki jai, Baturanam ki jai, Jagannath Swami ki jai, Yamunamai ki jai, Shrimati Tulasi Devi ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glorious to the assembled devotees, all glorious to the assembled devotees, all glorious to the assembled devotees, all glorious to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharni Nivashesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dejatarni. So today we are reading from the 10th canto, 70th chapter, text 40. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Athapi Ashavaye Brahma Nara Loka Vidambadam Rajna Apaitri Swashreyasya Bhaktasya Cha Chikirshitam Atapya Shavaye Brahma Narloka Vidambanam Ragnapatri Swashreyasya Bhaktasya Chikirshitam Atapya Shravaya Brahma Naraloka Vidambanam Ratnapatrir Swashreyasya Bhaktasya Chikirshitam Atapya Shravaya Brahma Naraloka Vidambanam Ragyapatrir Swashreyasya Bhaktasya Chikirshitam. Okay. Brahma. Ladies. Ajakichitam. Okay. Atapi. Nonetheless. Shavaye. I shall tell. Brahma. O Supreme Truth. Naraloka. Of human society. Vidambanam. To you who imitate. Gagya. Of the king Yudhishthira. Paitri. Of your father. Swashreyasya. Of the sister's son. Bhaktasya. Your devotee. Cha. And Jakirshitam. The intentions. Translation. Nonetheless, O Supreme Truth, playing the part of a human being, I shall tell you what your devotee Yudhishthira Maharaj, the son of your father's sister, intends to do. So you can repeat. Nonetheless, O Supreme Truth, playing the part of a human being, I shall tell you what your devotee Yudhishthira Maharaj, the son of your father's sister, intends to do. So there is no purport by the followers of Srila Prabhupada, but the Acharyas have written their short commentaries, so I'll read those. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, now he answers the second question of the Lord in 5 verses. O form of Brahman, both Brahma and Brahman readings are correct, as they are alternatives of the vocative case. That means calling out. O, in other words, O form of Brahman. O Brahma. Even though you know everything, I will let you hear a Shavaye, since you have the same qualities as an ordinary human being, Naraloka Vidambanam. This is an example of the ornament called contrast. Vyatireka, praise of the Lord's expertise by citing low qualities of the human being. Jiva Goswami says, though you are omniscient, I will tell you everything, Shavaye. Since you are playing as a human being, your question is suitable, since Yudhishthira is the son of Kunti, who has great affection for you. He is also your great devotee. And finally, Sanatana Goswami, I will tell you, because by your human pastimes, you make steady the earth on all humans or all jivas. And he is a king, your cousin, and a devotee. Or I will tell you about Yudhishthira's intentions, which support human beings or resemble human actions. So again, the verse. Atapya Shravaye Brahman Naraloka Vidambanam Iragya Patrir Swa Shreyasya Bhaktasya Cha Chakirshita. So Om Gana Timidanda Sha Gadanjana Shlakaya Chakshur Unmiritam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namaha. So, we're going to talk about Krishna playing the part of a human being. Now, it's interesting to note that when Krishna plays the part of a human being, it's not that he's playing the part of having 2 legs and 2 arms, because naturally, according to his original form in Goloka Vrindavan, he does have 2 hands and 2 arms and 2 legs. And he looks like a human being, of course, much more attractive, obviously, than any human being we've ever met. I mean, if you were to see Krishna, you would faint. And sometimes we should faint when we see the deities, but we don't. And of course, if we were actually seen with devotion, then all this desire for what society, friendship, and love would dissipate. As I was mentioning yesterday, we all have a need to be loved. and we embark upon so many different strategies to fulfill that need. Whether that's, getting married, or whether it's becoming a big rock and roll star, movie star. Just like you see, this is interesting. I hadn't planned on talking about this, but anyways, come in. So just like you see these people go to Hollywood, and they want to get some position as an actor, actress. Why? Because they want that fame. But what's the reason for wanting that fame? They want to be loved. And you see, in the case of many and many of those actors, actresses, whatever, that they have some love deficit in their childhood. And many creative people are like that. And then they're thinking, by having that fame, that I get to be, we had one devotee wanted to be in a Whoopi Goldberg movie. Anyway, if I get to be on stage, then people will love me. And then what we see after a while is that these people who actually become very famous, they become very depressed because they understand that the people who are appreciating them, or not actually appreciating them, are not actually loving them. They're just trying to use them. Just you can imagine, like, just going somewhere and then having been surrounded by hundreds and thousands of people trying to get your signature on something. Yeah, can you sign your name? Vivek Oberoi, Akshay Kumar, anyway, these are Indian. Or I don't even remember any Americans at this point. I've been too Indian-fied since I joined the movement. But anyway, so there's no satisfaction there. So basically, the real satisfaction comes from Krishna loving you. He already loves you. I mean, he's in your heart. Hridesha Arjuna Tishtati, as Bhagavad Gita says. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam, Hridesha Arjuna Tishtati, Brahmayan Sarvabhutani, Yantra Rudani Maya. So he's already loving you like anything. And you're not doing anything for him. He's Swarat, he's independent. You can't do anything for him. But he wants you to love him. And that's pure love. And when we enter into a relationship like that, then at that particular juncture, then all of our loving propensities are fulfilled. Actually, it's one of the first things Prabhupada says in the introduction to the Krishna book, is that it's like shining a light into a box. It just goes for a short distance, and you shine it into outer space. It goes unlimited distance. Of course, laser beam nowadays. So we have this loving propensity. We just want to express it unlimitedly, and only in relationship with the Supreme Personality of God can it be expressed. So anyway, getting back to the point is, when we're talking about Krishna acting like a human being, it's not that he acts like he has a body, or acts like he looks like us, or we look like him, because we're reflections like that. It's that Krishna shows the frailties of a human being. And we're going to go over that in a second. Krishna actually manifests things that are apparently, with us, they be anarthas. But with him, they're adorable qualities. And so we're going to talk about those. But anyway, first I want to express why Krishna comes down and acts like a human being with the frailties, and not only the frailties, but he acts like he has to follow rules and regulations, etc. Yet the charity shreshtas. One is to teach us by example. And of course, the best example insofar as Krishna's incarnations or pastimes or avatars is concerned is Lord Ram, who is oftentimes referred to as Maryada Purushottam, means the epitome or the topmost Purushottama, the topmost person who follows rules and regulations. And so Krishna comes down to teach humanity in this particular way. And perhaps one of the most important reasons he comes down, acts like a human being, is to attract us. Prabhupada makes that point also in the beginning of the Krishna book, because he exhibits human-like pastimes. And just like all of us, we want to hear stories about different, love stories and things like that. Of course, Krishna actually has love stories too. It's not that Krishna's just acting like he loves his devotees or he loves Srimati Radharani, but we're attracted to these things. We're attracted to childhood play of little children. We're attracted to someone who's very, very beautiful. And then when we're attracted to these things, then we're hearing and chanting. What is that? Satam prasangam brahmavirya sambhavo bhavanti ritkarna rasayana katacha joshana dasha apavargavar manishrada ratir bhakti anukramishati. Then we gradually develop love for Krishna, the progressive path mentioned by Lord Kapila Deva is we get faith, taste, and ultimately love. And just by hearing about Krishna, and of course, what is it? Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Even if we had no intention to become purified, just by hearing, just like, that example of my own life that I always speak about, is when I heard about how Krishna steals butter, like a little kid. Little mischievous kid stealing butter and feeding it to monkeys. It's like something a little kid would do. Of course, Krishna enjoys it, but that's another angle of vision. But when I heard about that, I just thought, how adorable that is. Isn't it? Like ladies, they always like to think, how cute. Of course, they think about that with the wrong things. They look at a dog and say, how cute that dog is. But, Krishna's pastimes, how cute, how adorable, how tricky, how mischievous it is. And then the subtle body, our material subtle body, becomes dissolved. So anyway, so the material subtle body of mind, intelligence, and false ego gets dissolved. And you get a spiritual mind, Shuddha Habi Mana. And your intelligence becomes spiritualized. And your real ego is there. Jivera Swarupahoy Nitya Krishna Das. Even in the beginning of the 10th canto, we have this famous verse, isn't it? Nivritta Tarshar Ubagiyamana. Bhavoshrat Shrotra Mano Biramat. Ka Uttama Shloka Gunana Vadat. Puman Virajeta Bana Poshugnat. That everyone will be attracted to Krishna's pastimes, except, of course, Shukadeva Goswami makes a little exception there. Puman Virajeta Bana Poshugnat, except for those who are killers of animals, meat eaters. Someone who's eating meat, they cannot understand Krishna consciousness. So anyway, that's another reason Krishna comes down, to attract us. And then also to reciprocate love with his devotees. Krishna has his own enjoyment in this material world. And there's certain things that happen only in the material world that don't happen in the spiritual world. We've talked about this before. Like some expressions of the indirect rasas, like ghastliness. And just like the other day, Mother Irma was talking about compassion, right? So I guess the utmost, actually, Adbhuta, sorry. She's talking about Adbhuta, not compassion. But even like the greatest shock objects are there in the material world, the greatest Adbhuta, like Lord Nrsimhadev, Adbhuta Shringam, or the greatest compassion. I mean, what's more compassionate than Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saving Jagannatha? Or what's more compassionate than Lord Chaitanya acting through his divine grace Srila Prabhupada saving us? I mean, you may have compassion in the spiritual world, but that's nothing compared to the compassion that Srila Prabhupada showed us, isn't it? You know, because there's no real low person in the spiritual world. They're all great devotees. So, anyway, so there's the reciprocation of love, reciprocation of rasas to, you know, very high degrees. And there's example, you know, that's the reason, one of the reasons Krishna comes down. So, anyway, so we also wanted to talk about how Krishna exhibits some of the frailties of a conditioned soul. You know, one of the frailties, of course, we're talking about anarthas now, is envy, right? Ooh. So, Srila Prabhupada comments, and I'm not going to give the citation for this, that Krishna apparently shows envy when he exhibits his Dhirodatta personality. You know, we understand Krishna has these four different aspects of his personality, which I think Mother Irma talked about the other day. Dhirodatta, you know, that's envious, proud. Now, if we're envious or proud, that's really bad. And that can lead us to commit offenses. But Krishna shows this Dhirodatta personality, envious and proud. Of course, there's also Dhiralalita, Dhiraprashanta, Dhirodatta. Anyway, we won't go through that because Srila Prabhupada and Rupa Goswami describes Dhirodatta as being envious, proud, easily angered, restless, and complacent. Imagine if I said that about someone like Ishwar here. You're envious, you're proud, you're easily angered, restless, and complacent. He gets very discouraged or angry, one of the two. So I think you need a new guru here, you know. But here we have God acting as someone who's envious, proud, complacent. Can he control his anger? So an example of that envious nature is when Krishna challenged Kaliyavana. You don't know Kaliyavana? Anyway, Gargamuni created Kaliyavana. It's an interesting story. So he wrote a letter to Kaliyavana. This is from Prabhupada's books. He addressed him as a sinful frog. And, this is, you know, real anger. And he's warning that I'm a black snake eager to devour you. That's a lot of anger. And he completed this particular letter stating that I can actually turn all the universes to ashes simply by looking at them. So another bad quality, that we would, in us it would be a bad quality, that Krishna exhibits is intolerance of neglect. So the scholars describe Krishna, many scholars, acharyas describe Krishna as predominating personality, which is defined as someone who's intolerant of being neglected. I'm going to give some examples. Of course, one of the biggest examples was the Govardhan pastime, right? Where Krishna was very angry that Indra did not properly, that Indra got angry and tried to kill the residents of Vrindavan. So, but there's another example here. When Kamsa insulted Vasudeva, Krishna glanced at Kamsa with longing eyes while preparing to jump and kill him. And there's one pastime that's cited by the Acharyas that is not in Krishna book, is when Krishna was fighting a demon that appeared as a deer. And he told the demon, I'm a great elephant, and I'll kill you if you do not leave the battlefield. And then anger towards another, so there's anger towards people who compete with his devotion. This similar thing with that Lord Indra. When he saw his devotees in Vrindavan worshipping an insignificant demigod like Indra, he got angry and actually stopped that and affected the Damodar Leela. I mean the Govardhan Leela, sorry. Another example of fear, that's another anartha, abhaya. As a child, Krishna was sometimes intensely afraid of his mother, right? In fact, that's a Damodar pastime. When she threatened him with a stick for his naughtiness, it's described, Krishna would cringe, tremble, and cry in her presence. And sometimes he would apologize. And also exhibited another anartha, which is succumbing to hunger. I mean, just like if someone doesn't have control of his senses, as controlled by what? The tongue, hunger, he would cry for his mother's milk. You know, here's God. Remember this. He's a supreme personality of Godhead. And he certainly has plenty of people to cook for him, and Lakshmi Sahasrasata, Sambrahma Sevyamana. But here he's crying for his mother's milk. Of course, it's out of devotion. And becoming angry when he was interrupted. Again, the Damodar pastime like that. And also begging, he pretended to be a needy child when he was begging food from the fruit vendor. And another one is fear of enemies. There's this whole pastime of what, Ranchorji. You know this pastime, Ranchorji? Ranchorji refers to Krishna. When Jarasandha, after fighting with Krishna 18 times, getting defeated, 17 times. On the 18th time, Jarasandha attacked, and Krishna and Balaram just decided to run away. Now, you may say that was strategic, and it certainly was. But actually, for a Kshatriya, that's worse than death, to leave the battlefield when you're challenged like that. And then also his sadness when he saw his friends being devoured by the Aghasura demon. So you see, Krishna, these are all human-like frailties that if we exhibit, it means we're not on a very high platform in devotional service. So another example of grief and lamentation. Interesting, all these. When Krishna heard the report that his father had been carried away, this is like an animal to be sliced, as Father Vasudeva. Krishna became perturbed like an ordinary man, and he began to cry. And also when he heard about the killing of Satyajit, he started to cry. Another frailty that Krishna, apparent frailty that Krishna exhibits, is physical fatigue. When he was fatigued after taking care of the cows, herding the cows all day long, or playing with his friends, he would lie down and he'd use a coward boy's lap to sort of like help him with his exhaustion. It's interesting, isn't it? How Krishna, all the human-like qualities. So another one is ignorance. He played the part of a menial servant to his spiritual master, and then once he became lost in the forest, and he had to spend the night in the forest. And in the beginning, when he couldn't find the calves that were stolen by Lord Brahma, he made believe he didn't know what was happening, bewildered. And then another frailty of the human beings is what we call social and marital vulnerability. Interesting. So when he was a householder, he sometimes appearing embarrassed or henpecked by his wives and the gopis. There's a frailty. Like if a man is controlled, but of course man shouldn't have gopis, but a man is controlled by his wife. It's not a very good quality, right? Yes? No? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. All you could do is chant the holy names when I heard that one. Anyway. Oh my God. And Krishna also showed, this is not a frailty, but Krishna showed his subordination to Yudhisthira Maharaj by bowing down because Yudhisthira Maharaj was older. And then, of course, there's the apparent lust that Krishna exhibits when he's associating with the gopis. So in this way, I thought this would be very, very interesting to talk about. In this way, Krishna exhibited the frailties of a regular soul. And actually, this makes him more attractive when he exhibits these things. That's really what makes Krishna, for us, attractive. That's the intimacy, rather than Aishvarya. We're actually interested in the Krishna consciousness movement in the Madhurya aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, where he forgets that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead and acts like a regular person, of course, the most attractive person. So, Linda, early, any questions or comments? Yeah. Yeah. He's controlled. He has a. It's very sweet. This is the Madhurya aspect. Yeah. If we didn't have that, it would simply be Aishvarya. Yeah, big God. And that's really the difference of the Krishna conscious movement. I was thinking about this yesterday. We were talking, because we're engaged in fundraising for the new temple. And I was talking to some people, some potential donors or a potential donor. And he was talking about, well, you got all these other centers that are opening up. There's this big Hindu temple that's spending like $30 million to build. There's the Venkateshwara temple that's at, $20 million to build. And all these different, and I was just thinking how we're absolutely so unique, because only in the Krishna consciousness movement do you have this really sugar candy sweetness, this Madhurya aspect. I mean, it's beautiful. You go to see Venkateshwara, and I was just there and praying obeisances to all the different deities, and there's 4 of them you go to see before you actually go to see Venkateshwara. I mean, I appreciate that, but there's this sweetness of Krishna's pastimes. He plays a flute. He has these intimate, loving devotees, unexcelled beauty, and these amazing pastimes. It's unexcelled. Anyway, so any other question? No, you can't have an intimate relationship with Venkateshwara. It's all awe and reverence. And as far as the Hindu temple, well, that's another issue. We're not going to get into that. Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudari Daivata Smit Bayanayava Viksheta Sapashandi Bhavatruvam. I won't translate that for you. So, any other questions or comments? Yes?
What's exactly the attraction of that sort of awe and reverent type of focus to the masses? Because that seems
Well, God's taking care of me. You know, He's our Father, just like the Christian conception in one sense. That, Nityo Nityanam, Chaitanas Chaitananam, Eko Bahunam, Yobadadati Kama. Krishna's maintaining me, He's protecting me. You know, there's a lot of security there, which is good. You know, there's a need for security, a need that someone cares for you. And it's, to a large extent, it's focused on one's needs. Of course, in the Vaikuntha planet, they're, I think, actually thinking of pleasing Lord Narayan. It's not that they're thinking of themselves, but the attraction is that God is the provider. I mean, just like people go to see Venkateshwara, and they give some money, and they're expecting blessings in return. And actually, there was a sign that I was actually shocked at the Venkateshwara temple. And see if I can quote it directly. Someone can correct me if it's not. The best vidhi, that means the best activity, is donation. It was right there, right next to the entrance to the Sanctum Sanctorum, you know, the main thing, right there on the left. I remember it. I said this, you remember that, Generani? That's more or less what the quote is? The best vidhi, the best service is donation. And so, you know, I mean, it's good. It is service. I'm not, but from my perspective, the best service is like loving Krishna and trying to please Krishna, giving yourself. Manasa deha geha yokishamora apilam tuyapade. Nanda Kishore, my mind, my body, my words, everything is yours, Krishna. I meant for your pleasure. Ashli Shiva Pada Padashtamama Darshanamatam Kurotava. Like when I approach people, I'm not thinking donation. Hopefully not. No, I'm thinking, you know, actually, because I'm not putting the pressure like that, but how can we engage someone and bring someone closer to Krishna? I mean, just like yesterday, I was out, you know, it was a vacation day. I was visiting different people in the Raleigh area. And I wasn't thinking, you know, what can they give to build the temple? I was thinking loving relationships with devotees, bring them closer to Krishna. And that's how. What's that?
Everybody has all these material needs, you know.
Yeah.
For children, they want children, they want.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has these needs.
And that's where they need all kinds of
Blessings.
for the Lord to pray to so that they can.
That's why Chichiketu. And Chichiketu was an anxiety, had this big need.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham
Saksham Bharavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Ako Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobha
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Anandani Yasa Sakale Kriya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Adi Purusham Tamaha Vibhavari Shesha Aloka Provesha Nijachare Utat Jiva Vibhavari Shesha Aloka Provesha Nijachare Utat Jiva Bolo Hare Hare Mukunda Rare Radha Krishna Hare Griva Bolo Hare Hare Mukunda Murare Rama Krishna Hare Griva Nrsimhavarmanat Shrimana Sulanat Prajananandana Shama Nrsimhavarmana Shrimana Sulanat Prajananandana Shama Bhutana Gatana Koita Bhakshatana Jaya Dasarathi Rama Jaya Dasarathi Rama Yasoda Dulaka Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandara Yasoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandara Gopi Priya Jana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Bhara Gopi Priya Jana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Bhara Ravanata Kora Makanata Skara Gopi Jana Vastra Hare Brajarakala Gopabrindapalo Chitagarevam Shivare Adevam Shivare Yoginravanana Srinanandana Brajadana Baya Hure Srinanandana Brajadana Baya Hure Navina Nirada Rupamanohara Mohana Vamshi Vihare Yashodanandana Kamsani Shulana Nikunyara Sabe Lase Kadamak Kanana Rasaparayana Vrindavi Nivase Ananda Varlana Premana Kedana Pulachara Yosha Kaba Gopangana Kana Chitta Vinodana Samasta Gunagana Dhamma Jamuna Jivanak Kele Purayanak Manasa Chandraja Kora Namachurarasa Gao Krishna Yacha Rakovachana Mana Mora Viva Varishesha Aloka Pravesha Nityachare Uta Jiva Mono Hare Hare Mukunda Murare Rama Krishna Hare Griva Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, go Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Radha Golokinana, Radha Golokinana, Radhe. Jaya Radha Golokinana, Radha Golokinana, Radha Golokinana, Radha Golokinana. Jaya Radha Golokyananda, Radha Golokyananda, Radha Golokyananda, Radha Golokyananda. Jaya Radhe, Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Radhe Jaya Radhe. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvatacharya